Hi, this is Rick, Vintage Oddball Cards. Hope everyone's doing well out there. Well, I'd like to show you something I recently picked up. Got it for a great deal. Really surprised. This is one of my better deals. These items weren't very expensive. They were in a lot. But before I show you that, let me give you a little background on these items. So there's a gentleman named John Colligan, who was a druggist in the early 1900s, and he came up with basically invented flavored gum that lasts while chewing. Because I guess back then it was pretty much like a wax type gum without flavor. So he invented basically flavored gum, I understand. So he ended up selling his drugstore and started his own business, the Colligan Gum Company. Had 50 employees, and in 1908 introduced a gum which he called Violet Chips. And in 1909 he came up with a tin that had a baseball card in it. From 1909 to 1911, the set was called Stars of the Diamond. And what it is, let me show you the tin here. So round gum would come in this tin. And inside the tin, there would be a baseball player, a card. So on the bottom, and I believe, can't say for sure, but I believe this is the original card that came in this tin. This is the player's name is Danny Murphy. Fantastic player for the Philadelphia Athletics. Did a little background on him. He was like 5'9", but power hitter, and Connie Mack put him on his all-time Philadelphia Athletics team. He was infielder, second baseman when Eddie Collins arrived. He moved to the outfield, and like I said, Connie Mack put him on his all-time team. So the player, the card would be here. There would be a round spacer, and then after the round spacer, in front of the round spacer would be the round gum. And it would be 10 pieces to a tin. And on the back here, you're going to see it says Violet Chips, Clean Mouth, Sweet Breath, Good Digestion, Colligan Gum Company, Louisville, Kentucky. Now, these Violet Chips were actually introduced to the public first. Then John Colligan Gum Company came up with mint chips. And on the back here, it has Auto Sales Gum Company, Chocolate Company of New York. Well, in 1911, Colligan sold his company to the Auto Sales Company. Basically, Auto Sales bought not only his company, but Dentyne and other gum companies. And this company decided to keep the same packaging. So this one here doesn't have a card in it, as you can see. But these are not rare. These tins, if you go to the National, heck, if you go on eBay right now, you'll be able to find them. They're obviously, as you can see, very cool items. Now, so 1909 to 1911 was called Stars of the Diamond. So I have one of those, and here it is right here. The Ty Cobb, I've shown this one before. A definite beater here. And on the back here, you can see Stars of the Diamond and Violet Chips and Mint Chips. here. So these were, again, placed inside the tin. Now, the second set that came out was called the Red Border set in 1912. Definitely more scarce than the Stars of the Diamond. I don't even consider Stars of the Diamond, the Cobb and the Honus Wagner. You see them basically anywhere. So they're definitely not rares or scarce. But that was 1912. They came up with the Red Border set. So basically, you would have a red border. You would see a red border around the player here. And then the last set they came out with was 1912 to 1913. It was called the Tin set. And basically, on the back, you'd be able, it said on the back of the card, it said you'd be able to turn in 25 tin tops to receive a photo. And that one's definitely rare. It has the Joe Jackson in the set. There's probably about 50 different cards that are different from the Stars of the Diamond set. Again, Joe Jackson, the pop on a Joe Jackson's 3 or 4. The price is just astronomical to have a Joe Jackson. So they really don't come up very often for auction. So total of the 3 sets, you're probably looking at about 600 cards. So again, not very scarce, especially the Stars of the Diamond set. Now there was a 4th set, maybe. The 4th set could be called the Colligan Chip Square Proof Set, 1909. So you can see the difference here. Now, are these related? Well, they definitely do look related, but most collectors considered this not to be a proof set or a Colligan proof set. Most likely, these were issued from a different company, probably a different candy company. And the reason probably they're not like a proof is just because there's too many of these out here to be proof cards. And many of them, what's interesting is I've seen quite a few actually. This one was from an album, and I've seen plenty of these. Looks like they came off some kind of album. But anyway, we really don't know. Years ago, collectors called this the Colligan Square Proofs. So the grading companies, of course, put it on their labels, but most likely that's not the case. So kind of very interesting and really fun thing to own is the Colligan chip, especially with the card inside. And actually one of these, I have 2 of them, and one of them is going to John Mangini. On our little text messages, I said I picked these up, and he said he needed one of these, so I'm going to send him one. But it makes for a great display on one of my shelves. So hey, thanks for watching. This is Rick, Vintage Oddball Cards. Bye.